Good morning, and welcome to the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. With the always evolving world of cyber threats and defense, you need a source you can trust. FBI retired Special Agent Darren Mott guides you through today's intricate cyber landscape and brings you the latest headlines and insights and what it means to you. Let's dive into today's cyber news.
Good morning, friends. It is Friday, December 13th, 2024. This is the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. I'm your host, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Darren Mott, and going to change it up a little bit on this Friday. No op-ed. I figured I ranted enough on Wednesday on the bill that Senator Wyden wants to create for telecoms, and I expanded on that in LinkedIn yesterday. So I'm just going to do 5 quick stories this morning, give you some quick updates on some cyber news, and let you go around the rest of your weekend as you need to go Christmas shopping and things like that. First is from Bleeping Computer. This is from the Good News File. Police shut down the Rydox cybercrime market and arrest 3 admins. This is from Sergey Gatlin reporting. Albanian law enforcement has seized the Rydox cybercrime marketplace and arrested 3 administrators in collaboration with international partners. Kosovo nationals Ardit Kutlesi, Jetmir Kutlesi, and Spend Sokoli were arrested on Thursday by Kosovo law enforcement and Albania's special anti-corruption body. The U.S. Justice Department indicted the first 2 for involvement in Rydox operations, and they're awaiting extradition to the United States. So this is where good things can happen with international partnerships, and we talk a lot about no one's going to jail for doing bad things, but sometimes somebody does. So on the plus side, a couple guys arrested, coming back to the United States, will probably be tried, will be sent to prison. So good things there. Since February 2016, Rydox marketplace sellers have been involved in over 7,600 sales of credit card information, login credentials, and personal information such as social security numbers, names, and addresses stolen from thousands of U.S. citizens in various cybercrime tools and devices. Rydox also offered the sale of over 321,000 other cybercrime products to more than 18,000 users, including tools and materials for committing cybercrime such as tutorials and spam tools. So this kind of just goes to show a whole lot of stuff regarding how data is traded amongst the cybercrime community, how many bad guys there are. I mean, 18,000 users just on this marketplace, and this is just one of many. And so, again, good things happen. But again, it also goes to highlight that our data is being traded all over the place out there. So tons of credit card information, tons of login credentials taken from data breaches, all that kind of stuff continues to be traded. And chances are most of the people who were trading in the stolen credentials didn't steal them themselves. They were just traded from and obtained from other crime areas or other data breaches, if you will. And so it goes to show the depth and extent of how bad this problem is. But at least, there's a mole that was whacked here in this particular case. From theregister.com, Simon Sharwood reporting, North Korea's fake IT worker scam hauled in at least $88 million over 6 years. North Korea's fake IT worker scams netted the Hermit Kingdom $88 million over 6 years, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, which thinks it's found the people who run them. The scams seized North Korean techies, mask their identities and locations to secure remote jobs. They then funnel their ill-gotten booty into Pyongyang's coffers. Some also use their access privileges to steal info such as proprietary source code and then extort their employers with threats to expose corporate assets, if not paid to keep quiet. Even InfoSec businesses have fallen for the scam, which is sufficiently prevalent that the FBI has offered guidance on how to avoid it. Well, it's pretty easy. Meet people in person and hire them that way if you can. Do face-to-face. How about that? It's not that hard to not hire people that are in North Korea, but what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong. The Thursday announcement from the feds and the accompanying indictment names 2 firms as the employers of North Korean scam workers, plus 14 individuals who faked their way into jobs. Interesting, the named businesses apparently aren't even in North Korea. According to DOJ, one of the players, Yabin Silverstar, is in, hey, you guessed it, China. And the other, Volesis Silverstar, is in, hey, you guessed it again, Russia. Both are accused of using false, stolen, and borrowed identities to score remote jobs, an effort the DOJ believes yielded at least $88 million. All right, so again, there's a lot more to this article if you want to take a look at it. And as always, all articles listed in this podcast are available in the show notes. So again, they've identified people. They've hopefully mitigated some of this threat. But because this has shown to be effective, you can probably expect an expansion and an evolution of this kind of scam going forward. So if you're hiring people in the tech field, just be careful and do some due diligence when you're trying to hire them. From cybernews.com, Bilius Petkauskis reporting 250,000 exposed in U.S. credit union digital heist. Cyber crooks access the personal data of hundreds of thousands of customers of SRP Federal Credit Union, a U.S.-based financial institution. Many SRP customers received a data breach notification this month alongside their usual account statement. The financial institution recently suffered a 2-month-long data breach. According to the filings SRP submitted to the Maine Attorney General, over 240,000 individuals were exposed in the cyber attack. This is an astounding number of victims, given that SRP is headquartered in North Augusta, a town of approximately 25,000, with a total number of credit union members is not 195,000. So that's interesting. An inquiry into the attack revealed that the attackers roamed the company's computer from September 5th until November 4th. SRP's notice claims that the company has no reason to believe that your personal information has been misused for the purpose of committing fraud or identity theft. You can take that with the smallest grain of salt possible. Chances are pretty good if they were in there for 2 months, they stole all sorts of PII, and it's either being traded, sold, or will be utilized for exactly that, committing fraud and identity theft. You can expect it, and expect it to be used for a very long period of time. SRP omitted exactly what type of information details were exposed. That's not good. Only indicating that names and government-issued IDs were impacted in the cyber attack. I don't believe it. However, as the credit union will provide impacted individuals with, you guessed it, free of charge identity theft protective services, attackers could have obtained enough details to carry out attacks of this nature. Now, here's the thing. If you're certain nothing was taken, why are you providing free of charge identity theft protection? Because you know that PII, this is good. This is bad for this credit union is going to have a bad time. Operating from South Carolina, the credit union reported it managed assets as worth $1.6 billion in 2022. So let's be honest. They probably had the money to do the right thing from a cybersecurity perspective. They elected not to, and here is where we are today. So if you are one of the 250,000 people that had their information likely stolen in this data breach, then prepare for a lifetime of dealing with this problem and trying to keep your information protected. All right. From darkreading.com, efforts to secure U.S. telecoms beset by Salt Typhoon might fall flat. You think? This is from Nate Nelson reporting, the rules necessary to secure U.S. communications have already been in place for 30 years. This is more on what Ron White has said, but okay, this is just a different article, but let's see what it has to say. In the wake of widespread telecommunication breach at the hands of China, a U.S. Senate, okay, never mind. This is the same thing I talked about. I did not read this deeply as I was going into it, but just understand that Salt Typhoon is bad, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, yeah, we're not going to go back into that. We know that laws will not fix this problem, but I don't need to rehash that. Let's finish up with this. Microsoft closes 2024 with an extensive security update. So this is your friendly monthly reminder to patch your Windows devices. This is from Greg Otto at cyberscoop.com. In its final Patch Tuesday, Microsoft has addressed 71 new security vulnerabilities, including a zero-day flaw currently being actively exploited. The zero-day vulnerability, documented as CVE 2024-49138, is a bug in the company's Windows Common log file system. It poses a significant threat as it enables attackers to achieve system-level privileges via a heap-based buffer overflow, potentially allowing for ransomware attacks and other escalated cyber threats. Detailed information about the specific the specific effect or location of the exploitation has not been disclosed. CISA on Tuesday added the vulnerability to its known exploited vulnerabilities list. Now, why the details have not been exposed is unbeknown to me. If you know it, why don't you list it, especially since the severity score is 9.8. This flaw can allow an attacker to execute remote code without authentication, posing a high risk to domain controllers central to network security structures. Microsoft's advisory recommends urgent patching and isolating of LDAP services from untrusted networks to prevent potential exploits. This month's fixes highlight pressing threats within the Windows ecosystem, particularly the vulnerabilities enabling unauthorized access or remote code execution across critical services like remote desktop and Hyper-V. These patches underscore vulnerabilities that can be readily be weaponized by cybercriminals, so on and so forth. My guess is that paragraph right there can be said every month when they talk about the Patch Tuesday. The point here being, patch your stuff. And also on Tuesday, just as a side note, Adobe issued patches addressing 167 vulnerabilities across its entire software suite. So just remember, and we talk about, this is funny because I remember couple months ago, the director of CISA said that, the real problem was the software coders. And, it's not like the people that wrote these codes said, hey, let's put all these vulnerabilities in so people can exploit them. It's just people find ways around stuff, right? And it's amazing that, again, government officials think we can just regulate all this stuff out of existence. As long as humans write code, and humans are the only ones writing code, there's going to be problems with the code that other humans can then exploit. But we're going to have to play this song and dance of patching those holes. And it's part of doing business, right? This is kind of where we're at. We buy cars and the cars break down and we have to go get them fixed. Aren't those vulnerabilities within the cars? Stuff has problems and you have to fix it. So, let's not look at this as, this is the end of the world. Just do the right things and protect yourself. But, it's going to be every month. We had 71 this month. In January, there'll be another 70, 60, whatever. We'll continue to patch because bad guys will continue to find open holes and vulnerabilities. And you just got to do what you got to do to keep them patched. It's not fun, but it's the life we live in. And if you don't want to deal with any of this, throw all your computers, all your phones, everything out, go live in Antarctica and have a party. With that, I'll let you go through the rest of your week. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back again on Monday because chances are pretty good the cyber problem is not going to solve itself. As you go about your week, know that knowledge is protection. If we can understand the threats targeting us, we can assess our risk, proceed wisely. Thanks again for listening. We'll talk again on Monday.
Cyber Smart Morning News is written and produced by Cyber Guy Productions. Feel free to email thoughts, comments, or suggestions to Darren@thecyberguy.com. Or follow Darren on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/DarrettMott. Thanks for listening.